Are you tired of being ignored, fed up with feeling powerless in conversations and relationships? Imagine if you could walk into any room, say a single phrase, and suddenly people can't help but pay attention to you. What if you had a skill that made people think about you even when you're not around? Sounds impossible. It's not. This is Stoic psychology, raw, powerful wisdom in today's world. If you're ready to learn how to master it and use it in ways most men wouldn't even dare to imagine, drop a comment below saying, "I'm ready for mastery." Stay with me till the end of this video, because what I'm about to share will flip everything you think you know about influence and relationships. Welcome to the channel. Today's video has the power to change your entire life. No fluff, no generic advice, just powerful, practical techniques for men who are tired of playing small. Today, we're diving deep into the kind of Stoic practices that ancient warriors used to conquer empires and modern men can use to conquer their lives. I'm talking about actionable insights that you can implement immediately to become the kind of man people are drawn to, respect, and even crave to be around. But let me be clear, this isn't for everyone. If you're here for fairy tales, soft talk, or feel-good fluff, click away. But if you're here because you want to take control of your relationships, command respect, and live unapologetically, you're in the right place. And one more thing, YouTube favors videos with high engagement. So if you want more men like us to access this life-changing content, hit that subscribe button and make sure to comment. Every interaction helps us spread this knowledge to the men who need it most. Now, let's get started. Number 1. The power of meaningful compliments. When was the last time you said something to someone that truly made them stop and think? Compliments today are overused and undervalued because most people don't put any effort into them. They're tossed out casually, like loose change, and end up being forgotten just as quickly. But when done right, a compliment is not just words. It's a reflection of your observation, your intent, and your understanding of the other person. A powerful compliment digs deeper, touching something personal, something meaningful. Imagine telling someone, "You're good at what you do," versus saying, "I noticed how you handle high-pressure situations, and it's impressive how you stay composed." The former is generic and forgettable. The latter is personal and memorable. You've shown that you see them in a way most people don't. That's the kind of compliment that creates an impact. It's not about flattery, it's about recognizing value that others overlook. This works because people are wired to seek validation for the things they hold dear about themselves. Compliments that align with someone's core values or hidden traits resonate deeply. It's like shining a light on a part of them they want others to notice, but rarely hear mentioned. When you do this, you separate yourself from everyone else they interact with. You become unforgettable. The art lies in being specific. Saying, "You're smart," pales in comparison to saying, "The way you connect ideas is fascinating." It shows you think in layers most people miss. The key is to make your words an experience, not just an observation. And when you do, your voice will echo in their mind long after the conversation ends. Number 2. Reflect their dreams through your words. People are constantly thinking about their aspirations, even if they don't always share them. If you can tap into that, you create an immediate connection. The secret is to listen. Most people talk without ever truly hearing the other person. They're waiting for their turn to speak or thinking about how they'll respond. But when you genuinely listen, you can uncover someone's ambitions, even in casual conversation. Let's say someone mentions wanting to travel or start a new career. You could acknowledge it and move on, or you could go deeper by saying, "You seem like the kind of person who would thrive in that environment. I can see you making that a reality." You're not just validating their dream, you're becoming a part of it. You're the voice that aligns with their vision, making them feel like you see their potential. This goes beyond relationships. Imagine talking to a colleague and saying, "The way you approach this project, it's clear you've got big plans for where you want to take your career. You've just positioned yourself as someone who understands their goals. and that creates trust. People open up to those who align with their vision. It's not just about making them feel good, it's about positioning yourself as a partner in their journey. Reflecting someone's dreams is not about telling them what they want to hear. It's about genuinely connecting with their ambitions and giving them a sense that you recognize their uniqueness. This makes you stand out, not as someone who's trying too hard, but as someone who genuinely cares. 3. Speak without saying anything. Words are everywhere. People are bombarded with them constantly, on social media, in conversations, and even in their own thoughts. This saturation has made words cheap, but actions are rare. Actions stand out. They leave a mark. When you act with intention, you communicate something far more powerful than any sentence ever could. Consider how much more effective silence can be during moments of tension. In a disagreement, most people feel the need to explain, to defend, to argue their point. But if you pause, hold your ground, and let the other person's words hang in the air, you shift the dynamic. They start filling the silence, trying to figure out what you're thinking. That's influence. Even in day-to-day interactions, your actions tell a story. Holding the door for someone without saying a word, maintaining steady eye contact in a meeting, or being the last to speak in a group discussion. These moments of deliberate action speak volumes. They show confidence, restraint, and presence, and people notice. This principle applies in relationships too. Compliments and kind words are important, but if your actions don't back them up, they lose their weight. If you tell someone you value their time but constantly cancel plans, your words mean nothing. If you say you're interested in what they have to say but check your phone during conversations, you're undermining yourself. Actions also create intrigue. When you do something unexpected or go out of your way for someone, it stays with them. Think about the last time someone went out of their way to help you without expecting anything in return. You remember it, don't you? That's the power of meaningful action. It sticks because it's rare. People crave authenticity. They're tired of words that lack substance. By focusing on what you do rather than what you say, you set yourself apart. You become the person who doesn't need to talk about their values because their life reflects them, and that kind of integrity is magnetic. Number 4, the power of ambiguity. Be mysterious, not predictable. People are drawn to what they can't fully understand. When everything about you is predictable, interest fades. Ambiguity creates a sense of fascination because it leaves people wanting more. The less you reveal about yourself, the more people will fill in the blanks, often imagining you as more complex and intriguing than you are. It's human nature to be curious about what isn't immediately clear. When someone asks about your weekend, don't give every detail. Instead of saying you had dinner, watched a movie and went to the gym, say, "It was productive. I worked on a few things I've been meaning to tackle." You've shared enough to answer the question, but not enough to satisfy their curiosity. This works because it creates a mental gap that people can't help but want to close. In conversations, it's not always about withholding information. It's about revealing it strategically. Share just enough to keep the other person engaged, but never too much that they feel there's nothing left to uncover. When you become an open book, the mystery dies, and with it, the interest. By leaving parts of your story untold, you create a compelling allure. This approach isn't about being secretive or dishonest. It's about valuing your presence and words enough to not give them away lightly. When you're deliberate about what you share, people pay closer attention. They listen intently, waiting for the next piece of the puzzle. This keeps interactions dynamic and engaging. Ambiguity also builds anticipation. If someone asks about your plans and you respond, "Something I'm excited about, I'll tell you more later," they're left wondering. That wondering keeps you on their mind. They'll think about what you might be doing, and that creates a mental connection even when you're not around. By carefully choosing what to share and when, you become a person who is not easily forgotten. Number 5. Planting thoughts they can't shake off. Some ideas stick in the mind like a melody you can't stop humming. Words, when chosen wisely, can have the same effect. When you say something that resonates deeply, it echoes long after the conversation has ended. This isn't about speaking in riddles or being cryptic. It's about using language that creates a lasting impression. Instead of saying, "You're impressive," say, "There's something about the way you think that I haven't encountered before." This does more than compliment. It introduces a lingering thought. What is it about their thinking that stands out? Why haven't you encountered it before? You've planted a seed, and it will grow in their mind as they revisit the conversation, trying to figure it out. This technique works because people are naturally introspective. When you make an observation about them that feels unique and thoughtful, they're compelled to think about it. It's a way of being memorable without trying too hard. Your words become a part of their internal dialogue, replaying and reinforcing the connection they feel with you. Planting thoughts isn't limited to compliments. When discussing ideas or perspectives, leave room for interpretation. For instance, instead of saying, "This is how it works," say, "Have you ever noticed how certain things always seem to connect in ways we don't expect?" This kind of phrasing invites reflection. It encourages the other person to think beyond the immediate moment and associate that depth of thought with you. When done effectively, your words carry weight. They resonate in ways that make the other person think about you even when you're not there. This subtle influence isn't about control. It's about creating a lasting impression that lingers in the best way possible. By planting thoughtful and intentional ideas, you ensure that your presence is felt long after the conversation ends. Number 6. Why less is always more. In a world filled with noise, those who speak less are often heard more. Speaking less isn't about saying nothing. It's about making every word count. When you choose your words carefully and express yourself succinctly, people pay attention. The value of your thoughts increases because they're not diluted by unnecessary filler. Consider the impact of responding with precision when asked for your opinion on a complex topic. Instead of launching into a lengthy explanation, say something concise and impactful. It's effective, but it could be refined further. That single sentence carries more weight than a rambling paragraph because it shows clarity of thought and confidence in your perspective. Less is more because it leaves room for curiosity. When you don't over-explain or give away every detail, others are left wanting to know more. This keeps them engaged and invested in the conversation. Speaking less also communicates self-assurance. It shows that you don't feel the need to justify or prove yourself with excessive elaboration. Your words stand on their own. This principle applies not just to conversations, but also to actions. When you overdo something, whether it's a gesture or an explanation, it can come across as trying too hard. But when you act decisively and say only what needs to be said, your confidence and restraint become apparent. People respect that. There's also a psychological element to saying less. Silence can be powerful. After making a statement, let the pause linger. Don't rush to fill the space. That pause gives your words time to sink in. It also shifts the focus onto the other person, prompting them to engage more deeply. When you speak, they listen, because they've learned that when you choose to speak, it matters. By saying less, you create space for your presence to shine. It's not about being passive or withdrawn, it's about being deliberate. Your words carry more meaning, and your actions speak louder. In a world that rewards overexposure and constant chatter, your restraint becomes a rare and valued quality. Number 7. Be the challenge they can't resist. People are naturally drawn to what feels just out of reach. When everything comes too easily, it loses its value. The allure of a challenge lies in the effort it takes to achieve it. This principle applies to all areas of life, but it's especially powerful in relationships. The harder someone has to work to earn your attention, respect, or affection, the more they value it. When you make yourself overly available, you dilute your impact. If you respond to every message instantly, agree to every plan without hesitation, or constantly seek validation, you become predictable. Predictability leads to complacency. But when you hold back, when you make people earn their place in your life, you create a sense of importance around your time and energy. This doesn't mean playing games or withholding affection. It's about showing that your focus is on your own growth and goals first. When you prioritize yourself, others naturally see you as someone worth pursuing. People respect those who respect themselves. By not always being available, you communicate that your time is valuable, and that makes others value it too. Being a challenge also means maintaining your standards. If someone crosses a boundary, don't hesitate to enforce it. If something doesn't align with your principles, walk away. This shows strength, and strength is magnetic. It's not about being difficult for the sake of it. It's about showing that you know your worth and won't compromise it. When people sense that they can't fully figure you out or easily win your favor, it sparks their curiosity and desire. They begin to invest more effort, and that effort deepens their connection to you. By being the challenge they can't resist, you elevate yourself in their eyes, not by being someone you're not, but by being firmly rooted in who you are. Number 8. Master the art of detachment. True detachment isn't about caring less. It's about caring the right amount. It's the ability to remain calm, focused, and unshaken no matter the circumstances. Detachment gives you freedom because it allows you to engage fully without becoming dependent on the outcome. When you're detached, you operate from a place of strength, not need. In relationships, detachment is a game changer. If you're overly invested in seeking someone's approval or attention, you give away your power. People can sense when you're too eager, and it often pushes them away. But when you approach interactions with a calm, self-assured demeanor, it creates a sense of intrigue and respect. Detachment doesn't mean being cold or aloof. It means being secure in yourself. It's about knowing that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's opinion or behavior. This security allows you to walk away from situations that don't serve you, and that's one of the most attractive qualities you can have. People are drawn to those who don't need them, but choose to engage with them anyway. In practice, detachment looks like maintaining your composure in the face of rejection or conflict. It's choosing not to react emotionally when things don't go your way. Instead, you respond with calmness and clarity. This shows maturity and control, and it leaves a lasting impression. When you're detached, you don't let external circumstances dictate your internal state, and that kind of stability is rare and valuable. Detachment also allows you to focus on what truly matters. When you're not consumed by the need to impress or gain approval, you can dedicate your energy to your goals, passions, and personal growth. This makes you more interesting and dynamic, which in turn makes others more drawn to you. By mastering the art of detachment, you not only elevate your relationships, but also your entire approach to life. Number 9. Own the room with subtle authority. When you walk into a room, your presence speaks before you do. Authority isn't about being the loudest or most commanding. It's about exuding a quiet confidence that others can't ignore. Subtle authority is the ability to command attention without demanding it. It's the way you carry yourself, the way you interact, and the way you handle situations. Owning the room begins with posture and body language. Stand tall, shoulders back, and head high. Make eye contact with those around you. These small adjustments communicate self-assurance and make people take notice. The way you move and hold yourself speaks volumes about how you see yourself, and others will respond accordingly. When you speak, do so with intention. Avoid filler words and speak clearly and directly. Pauses can be powerful. They give your words weight and allow your message to sink in. People are naturally drawn to those who speak with purpose because it shows they value their own thoughts and contributions. Authority is also about how you handle interactions. Listen actively when others speak and respond thoughtfully. This shows that you're present and engaged, which makes others feel valued. At the same time, don't be afraid to disagree or express your perspective. Standing firm in your beliefs while remaining respectful earns respect in return. Another element of subtle authority is composure. When faced with pressure or unexpected challenges, remain calm and steady. Your ability to stay level-headed in difficult situations sets you apart and positions you as someone others can look to for guidance or support. Subtle authority isn't about dominating a space, it's about influencing it through your presence and actions. When you own the room, you inspire trust, admiration, and respect, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. This kind of authority leaves a lasting impression and sets the stage for meaningful connections and impactful interactions. Number 10. The timeless charm of saying no. The ability to say no is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. It's simple, direct, and deeply impactful. Every time you say yes to something you don't truly want, you dilute your energy, compromise your values, and send a message that your priorities are negotiable. Saying no, on the other hand, is a declaration. It tells the world that you are in control of your time, your focus, and your life. Saying no isn't about being dismissive or difficult. It's about knowing your boundaries and enforcing them. When you decline something that doesn't align with your goals, you create space for what does. It's not just about refusing offers or invitations. It's about protecting your time and energy for what truly matters. Imagine being asked to take on a task that would pull you away from your priorities. A weak yes leaves you overwhelmed and resentful, while a firm no frees you to stay on course. The more you practice this, the more people will respect your time and decisions. They'll begin to see you as someone who values themselves enough to stand firm, and that creates a lasting impression. Saying no also builds intrigue. It's not about rejecting people, it's about showing them that your time and attention are valuable and not easily won. When you say no sparingly and thoughtfully, it carries more weight. People begin to see you as someone who isn't easily swayed or distracted. It's a way of standing out in a world where many say yes to everything. This approach requires clarity about your priorities. You need to know what you stand for and what you won't tolerate. Once you have that clarity, saying no becomes second nature. It's not a negative response, it's a positive affirmation of your standards. And the best part? People will respect you for it, even if they don't always like it in the moment. By saying no, you show that you value yourself, and that's a quality others can't help but admire. Number 11. Evoke emotions that stick. If you want to be unforgettable, you need to create emotional connections that linger. People don't remember everything you say, but they remember how you make them feel. When your words and actions evoke strong emotions, you create lasting impressions that go beyond surface-level interactions. The key to evoking emotion lies in authenticity and depth. Share something real, something meaningful, and watch how it resonates. It doesn't have to be dramatic or overly personal. It just needs to be genuine. For instance, sharing a moment of failure and how you overcame it can inspire others. It shows vulnerability, which in turn builds trust. When you're interacting with someone, tune into their emotional state. Are they excited, nervous, or frustrated? Speak to that emotion. If they're sharing a success, celebrate it wholeheartedly. If they're expressing frustration, acknowledge it and show understanding. By meeting people where they are emotionally, you create a connection that feels authentic and powerful. Humor is another way to evoke emotion, but it has to be used wisely. A well-placed joke can break the ice and create a sense of camaraderie, but forced humor can have the opposite effect. The best humor arises naturally from the conversation and adds to the emotional flow of the moment. It's not just about creating positive emotions. Tapping into moments of tension or vulnerability can be just as impactful. When you empathize with someone during a difficult time or help them see a new perspective, you create a deeper bond. It's in those moments of emotional resonance that people feel truly seen and valued. The beauty of evoking emotions is that it doesn't require grand gestures. Sometimes, a simple but heartfelt statement is enough to create a ripple effect that stays with someone long after the interaction. By focusing on the emotions you evoke, you elevate every conversation, every connection, and every interaction, making them memorable and meaningful. Number 12. Silence. Silence is often misunderstood as emptiness, but in truth, it is one of the most potent tools you can wield. It creates space, commands attention, and allows the weight of your presence to sink in. When everyone else is rushing to fill the void with words, you stand apart by letting the silence do the work. Silence is not passive, it's active. It's a deliberate choice to hold back, to observe, and to allow others to lean in. In conversation, silence can be disarming. When someone makes a point or asks a question, most people rush to respond, filling the gap without giving it much thought. But when you pause, the dynamic shifts. The other person begins to wonder what you're thinking, what you might say next. That curiosity keeps them engaged and focused on you. It's in those moments of stillness that your words, when you finally speak, carry far more weight. Silence is also a mirror. It reflects the energy of the person you're interacting with, showing them aspects of themselves they may not have been aware of. When someone is speaking to you and you respond with quiet attentiveness, they hear themselves more clearly. This creates a deeper level of connection because you've given them the space to express themselves fully. In negotiations, silence is a strategy that can shift the balance of power. When a proposal is made, resist the urge to immediately counter or agree. Instead, pause. That silence creates tension, and in that tension, the other person often reveals more than they intended or adjusts their stance to fill the gap. You've gained insight and leverage without saying a word. Silence also creates an aura of mystery. When you don't reveal everything about yourself, people are drawn in by what they don't know. The less you explain, the more others project their thoughts and perceptions onto you, often imagining qualities that elevate your presence in their eyes. It's not about withholding, it's about allowing others to come to you, to seek you out, and to value what you choose to share. Silence can amplify emotions in ways that words cannot. When someone is venting and you respond with a calm, understanding silence, it gives them the sense that you truly hear them. They feel seen and validated without you needing to offer solutions or platitudes. This kind of silence fosters trust and connection, making your presence a source of comfort and strength. In moments of conflict, silence can be a shield. When tempers flare, responding with silence instead of escalating allows the storm to pass. It shows composure and maturity, and often it compels the other person to reconsider their approach. Your silence communicates that you are unshaken, that you are above the chaos. This strength of character leaves a lasting impression. Silence is not about being passive or avoiding engagement. It's about choosing your moments. It's about understanding the power of restraint and using it to enhance your influence. When you master the art of silence, you not only elevate your conversations but also your entire presence. You become someone people listen to, someone people respect, someone people remember. What we've covered today isn't just advice. It's a blueprint for living life on your terms. Master these principles and you won't just attract people, you'll inspire respect and admiration. If you're ready to commit to becoming the man you were meant to be, hit that subscribe button. Comment below with the phrase, "The less I say, the more I win." Let's spread this knowledge and make it accessible to as many men as possible. Don't keep this to yourself. Share this video with every man who needs to hear it. Subscribe now, and let's build a community of men who are unapologetically taking charge of their lives.